Will someone do something? Hello, I am the Irish guy, and yes, it's that time of the week. Today, I'm going to grade every single Premier League club's most recent transfer decision this summer. And I know it's only June, but lads, some of these moves are absolutely wild. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Christian Norgaard B. How many Arsenal fans do you think are buzzing to sign Christian Norgaard? Not a single one. Not unless they're Danish as well. Because yes, I get it, okay? For a top club like Arsenal, hell-bent on winning the biggest trophies, then yeah, signing a 31-year-old midfielder from Brentford is about as exciting as unwrapping a teapot off your nan. You don't even drink tea. So Norgaard, I get it. On paper, this is not an exciting sign. But hang on, relax, because I'm going to say this. If any club in the world could sign another Premier League club's captain for just £10 million, then that is a coup. You've essentially convinced Brentford's leader to join Arsenal's bench. He is an all-action midfielder who's been simply marvellous under Thomas Frank. So to bring him in for a tenth of a £100 million paycheck, I think this is a queasily clever deal. This is like the opposite of the Raheem Sterling deal last summer, who yes, was a big fat celebrity name on paper, with millions of Instagram followers, but in reality, he clearly had the fitness of a dead hamster. Arteta probably sees a bit of himself in Norgaard, because he also joined the Gunners for £10 million at a similar age, from another mid-table Premier League club, all the way back in 2011, and he turned out to be a decent signing. Who knows, this might mean that Norgaard winds up being Arsenal manager one day. Okay, Keith, no, probably not. That's about as likely as me getting cast as the dog in I Am Legend 2, but still, I think it's a clever signing. B. Aston Villa, John Lusumi B. So here we have Aston Villa having approached Bolton about triggering the £24 million release clause for their 26-year-old centre-back John Lusumi, a Colombian player who Tottenham also want. I mean, after being absolutely pillaged by top clubs last summer, I'm guessing the Bolton chairman is now sick of all of these vulture clubs chatting up his players. Yes, you would think having embarrassed themselves in the Champions League would have shooed away potential suitors, but no, beating AC Milan in the Coppa Italia final to secure their first trophy in over half a century. Oh yes, that's absolutely got teams now drooling over Lusumi as if he was an ice cream sandwich. Look, he's a good player and will be a clever little deal from Unai Emery to stick on his bench, and for less than £25 million, not bad at all. Bournemouth, Ilya Zabarny C. Bournemouth have been busy this week. Yeah. The latest big thing that Bournemouth have done is turn down a £55 million bid from PSG for their centre-back Ilya Zabarny. Look, I don't think this means the deal is now over, because if I was a 22-year-old Zabarny, then being refused a dream move to the European champions, oh, that would fry my brain like scrambled eggs. I think Bournemouth have just created an unhappy customer in their squad, because yes, I'm sure Bournemouth is a nice, cute little seaside village to live. But I'm sorry, would you rather spend your afternoons queuing for an ice cream at the beach before having to scrape seagull poo off your car? Would you like that? Or to live in a luxury gaff overlooking the Eiffel Tower, where you can have brunch at the Seine? Because I'm sorry lads, Tesco croissants don't hit as hard. Look, fair play to Bournemouth for having the resolve to turn down this massive amount of money, but I still think he's getting sold. Brentford, Christian Norgaard F. What are you doing, Brentford? If there's ever a time not to sell your captain, oh, you better believe it's right now. This is a massive summer of wonky transition for the Bees. With Thomas Frank now gone, and you're replacing him with this absolute rookie? Lads, Thomas Frank is one of the biggest names in management. And even he is trying to feel his way into the England job by picking a leader like Jordan Henderson to come in as a comfort blanket. Keith Andrews has managed as many football clubs as me. We all think this is a crazy appointment. And guess what? I'm guessing the Brentford players do as well. So he absolutely needs his captain to stay to hold his hand as his voice breaks during his first team talk. Honestly, as we speak, his hand is probably trembling whilst reaching for the last packet of quavers in his house. I bet Keith is so scared, so choosing to accept Arsenal's measly £10 million offer for your captain. What? Brighton, Wesley Franca A+. Yeah, Brighton are going weird again. I feel bad for Matheus Franca because 5 minutes ago, this kid was a Flamengo wonderkid midfielder linked with Real Madrid. Yeah, he's since grown up to be an anonymous beanbag in the Crystal Palace reserves. And now, he's not even the most exciting Franca anymore, because 21-year-old Wesley Franca has emerged as a brilliant right-back for Flamengo. He's since made his debut for Brazil, and now Brighton are close to tying up a £20 million deal. I'm sorry, but signing a Brazil international, somebody who's already a Copa Libertadores champion, and will now have Carlo Ancelotti's number in his phone, this is a dazzlingly exciting deal. This is somebody who wouldn't look at a place in Barcelona. So if Brighton are able to convince him to join, oh wow, he's gonna make Tarek Lamptey look no more special than a Cartoon Network pencil case. Burnley, Max Weiss D. Yeah, look, Burnley are about to sell James Trafford to Newcastle, so they need a new goalie, and they brought in one. Germany under-20 international Max Weiss from Karlsruhe for just £4 million. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be fine as a third choice goalie, but not as a number one. No, if JT goes to St. James's Park, get in a proper experienced goalkeeper. Even Sam Johnstone would do okay. Chelsea, Mike Moynihan F. The deal for Mike Moynihan is officially dead. This is so crazy. Chelsea are so obsessed with signing Jamie Bino-Gittens from Dortmund right now that they've just abandoned all of their other transfer plans. AC Milan have since confirmed that Chelsea have walked away from the deal and that Milan are now choosing to keep Mike Moynihan. You know, one of the very few world-class goalkeepers in the sport. Chelsea could have signed him for just £20 million. 20 million? Are you for real? You paid more for Sean Ray Phillips 20 years ago. You paid 4 times that amount for Kepa. This guy would have been a game changer. A massive, colossal upgrade on the jokers you've currently hired to waddle away into net. Seriously, choosing to walk away from a £20 million deal for the actual France #1 is seriously insane. Crystal Palace Mark Gahey. Crystal Palace have not done anything yet. Instead of sitting around listening to half the world drool over Mark Gahey, which is a bit annoying. I mean, it looks a bit like Palace are about to be made to look like mugs because the word on the street is that their captain centre-back is apparently ready to run down his deal and leave on a free next summer, and apparently Real Madrid want him. He's about to do a Trent. Wow, a fringe England international centre-back winding up at the Bernabeu. I didn't realise this was 2004. Is Gahey the new Woodgate? So honestly, Palace, stop ignoring their reality and just sell him to Newcastle for £50 million. What? Everton, Kenny Teddy F. Are you for real? Are you serious? A week ago, Everton were massive favourites to sign the greatest right back in Premier League history. Seriously, they were apparently inches away from unveiling Kyle Walker. I mean, for his leadership skills alone, he would have been a sensational deal. Can you imagine Walker, Baines and Coleman in the same dressing room? It's like the Avengers of fullback captains. But no, I'm hearing that the Toffees are instead trying to sign Kenny Teddy from Fulham. A nearly 30-year right back who's received 1 Netherlands cap since 2019. Going to find Walker, a 6-time Premier League champion and treble winner, and who just 5 minutes ago was representing actual AC Milan. Tete? It's gruesome. It's like eyeing up $1 million mansion on Rightmove and then choosing to sack that off and move into a smelly caravan instead. A caravan where the toilets don't flush. Okay, I'm sorry, Teddy. Okay, because if Walker had not been linked with Everton a week ago, then this would be a fine deal, but no, I'm sorry. You're choosing Kenny over Kyle? Yikes. Fulham Rodrigo Muniz F. Lads, Fulham have rejected a Leeds United bid for their 8th goal a season striker, Rodrigo Muniz. A 24-year-old who lives off purple patches and has never and will never be capped at any age level for Brazil. How much do you think they turned down? 12 million? 14 million? 16 million at a push? No. 32. Yes. 32 million pounds. Fulham said no to that. I'm sorry, I need to sit down. £32 million for someone who scores on average once a month. Are they for real? I remember this club selling Louis Saha for £12 million. And he was scoring every week. If Leeds are insane enough to throw that much money at you for a bang average striker, then take the cash. Leeds United Sean Longstaff C. Is this really gonna happen? Leeds United have been linked to Newcastle Sean Longstaff for months, and they've apparently been told that he'll cost £10 million. Well, stop being nervous about it. Complete the deal. This is someone who 5 years ago was linked with a £50 million move to Manchester United. Look, Longstaff is not a hopeless, hideous midfield player. No, he's like a young Harrison Reed. Wait, hang on. He's going to be 28 this year. What? Has Longstaff been around that long? Well, yes, because I remember watching him play in an under-21 match 10 years ago, and I didn't think much about him other than that he had a funny name. Well, lads, Longstaff actually turns 30 the year after next. Where is his career gone? Well, come on, Leeds. If you have the opportunity to sign a player who scored on a Champions League night against PSG, if you can get him for just 10 million beans, do the deal. Liverpool Milos Kerkez A+. This is a really clever deal. Liverpool needed to upgrade on an aging Andy Robertson, and Milos Kerkez, he is an absolute perfect fit. The right player at the right time. A £40 million deal for a fantastic, rampaging Bournemouth left back who's still only 21. I mean, lads, Robertson arrived from Hull at the age of 24, and you managed to squeeze nearly 400 appearances out of him. Kerkez is a complete spring chicken, and he was so good. When he was a teenager, he literally had Paolo Maldini begging him down the phone to join AC Milan. When Robertson was a teenager, he was begging Twitter for a job. There's levels to this, and Kerkez is potentially world class one day. Plus, he's already international teammates with Szoboszlai. It's just meant to be. Honestly, come back to this in 3 years, and I think Kerkez would have established himself as being by far and away the best left back in the league. Come on, he's on another planet to Man City's like Nori. Man City, Rayan Cherki B+. Look, Rayan Cherki oozes superstar quality. Jack Grealish did not. I mean, when that guy joined from Aston Villa, he spent 4 years being in awe of Kevin De Bruyne and just chose to be too obedient to Pep, squeezing all the maverick star quality out of his feet to just boringly pass the ball. It's like watching Michael Carrick on the wing. But Cherki, oh no, he's too much of a superstar for all that nonsense. And yeah, I think the 21-year-old winger will be top class. But why this deal is not an A is because Man City were a bit too impatient trying to tie up a deal for him before the Club World Cup. So they got sloppy instead because they agreed to pay £34 million. Look, it's a snip because Cherki is arguably worth double that. But if you had held out for just one more month, you could have been signing a player from League 2 because the Lyon have just been relegated. They'd have probably sold Cherki for a crazy £15 million. Man United, Wilfred Ndidi F. Ndidi. Actual Ndidi. Manchester United are apparently weighing up whether or not to sign this defensive midfielder from Leicester. I'm sorry. Is this 2019? Honestly, what next? Are they gonna go back in for Longstaff? Ndidi was hot property years and years ago. But now, he's soon gonna be a 29-year-old Nigeria international midfielder who, guess what? Has been relegated at each of his last 2 Premier League campaigns. He was literally available on a free last summer and nobody wanted to know. Don't you dare bring in Ndidi now. He's a washed up lemon. Signing him would be mortally insane. Newcastle, Anthony Elanga C+. You know the transfer window is a thing when Newcastle United have had a bid rejected for Nottingham Forest winger Anthony Elanga, because I'm pretty sure this happened last summer too. But yeah, the Magpies have had a £45 million deal knocked back. I mean, considering Elanga is already Swedish mates with Isak, then I'm confident he would eat his own toes to secure this move. But look, it's no panic, because Newcastle have other options, like Yohan Bakayoko and Mohamed Kudus, 2 other equally as exciting targets. Look, Elanga had a brilliant season for Forest, and is arguably worth another £15 million. He'd have been a brilliant signing for Newcastle, sure, but you know what? Purely for the Banarfa street football maverick flair. I know it's a significant risk, but I'd be really more excited about the signing of Kudus, Nottingham Forest, Timothy Weah, and Samuel Magula D. What is it about Juventus only selling package deals? Seriously, last summer they were giving Aston Villa both Samuel Illing Jr. and Enzo Barracanea at once. What, is it a case of always buy one get one free? But yeah, Forest are wanting to do a cheap deal for wingers Timothy Weah and Samuel Magula. The latter is a 21-year-old uncapped Belgian. That's a big fat meh, but Weah is a USA international striker who's also represented PSG, Celtic and Lille, and his dad is a Ballon d'Or winner. Look, he is not prolific. He's just at the back of a 6-goal season, and before that he had 2 goalless seasons in a row for Lille and Juventus. That stinks of Everton's Jesper Lindstrom. So I don't know, I think Forest are wanting to sign him because he's got a famous name. Sunderland, Armand Lorient D-. What Sunderland are doing right now is inquiring about the availability of Sassuolo's 26-year-old French winger Armand Lorient, who is off the back of a 19-goal season in Serie B. He's a lower league superstar winger, sure, but he's just a French Jack Clark. Tottenham, Kota Takai C. Oh, so Spurs are still using their Japanese scouts. I thought that was just a Postecoglou thing, considering he actually lived and worked in Japan, and then he brought a bunch of them to Celtic. But yeah, Tottenham have now signed 20-year-old centre-back Kota Takai from Kawasaki Frontale for just £5 million. Will he be any good? What are you looking at me for? I don't know. Do I look like I watch Japanese football? I don't even know what channel it's on. I'm honestly getting so used to these, it's not even funny. Yeah, you're now just watching a grown man eat a banana. Pretty easy now. Can I stop doing this now? It's just a man eating a banana. What about this is content? I'm getting so used to it. West Ham, Jean-Claire Todibo B. I still can't believe how easy it's been for West Ham to sign Jean-Claire Todibo. It was only 5 minutes ago he was the most in-demand centre-back in the world after ripping up the place at Nice. But no. West Ham were able to quietly sign him on loan last summer. And now, even after they've had a horrible season under Potter, no European football, they're still able to quietly sign his former Barcelona defender on a permanent basis, unchallenged, without a fuss. I mean, don't get it twisted, he's still expensive. He cost £34 million. But 10 minutes ago, you had the whole world watching him. Weird. Wolves, Connor Cody. Yeah. Apparently Wolves are battling it out with Rangers for Connor Cody. They tried to sign him in January too. Lads, honestly, I know you managed to get him to the World Cup as an England centre-back. But since leaving Molyneux, it's just one relegation battle after the next. Honestly, lads, leave Cody in the past. Anyway, that's the interview. Let me know what do you think. Let me know, what do you make of your business so far? Let me know in the comments if you do. Don't forget to connect, share, because always, I'll talk to you in a while.